Okay guys, so today we'll be looking at homemade frozen food for cichlids. This is the recipe I use to feed my cichlids. It's quite a high protein based food, so I use it to improve their colour a lot of the time. I believe that 99% of poor colour is often due to food and their diet. Uh, it can also be due to quality, for instance, inbreeding. Anyway, let's take a look at the recipe. So, turn the page here. This is the recipe. So, we need 1 kilogram of whole shrimp, any will do. We need 1 kilogram of green peas, 10 mils of spirulina powder, 100 grams of gelatin powder. So, let's take a look. Here we've got our green peas, whole shrimp, spirulina powder and gelatin. I just picked up the spirulina powder at a health store. So I split it here into 1 kilogram. There's the peas and the shrimp. Next you want to get ready a tray. Okay, I'm just washing out the peas here. Obviously they're frozen, so I need to defrost them. And on the tray, what I suggest is use tin foil so you can peel it back easily. I'll show you this bit later. Now I'm just defrosting the shrimp as well, because we need to blend these. So it's obviously easier if they're softer and defrosted. Okay, so that's our ingredients done, or our main ingredients. So we'll move on to blending them. Obviously it's quite difficult to blend them and it does take some time, but hopefully you should turn out with something like this. A sort of gloopy mixture of peas. I then put that into a bowl, and then I blended the shrimp. I like the peas, this is difficult. And then I mixed it all into a bowl and moved on to spirulina powder. So you want 10 mils of this, which is approximately that medicine spoon there, a level T medicine spoon. So 10 mils. Let's just level that out. Okay, that'll do. Right, so you want about that much. A little bit less. And you just add that in there. Obviously you want the mixture as even as possible, so you don't want it too concentrated. So I'd suggest mixing it in really, really well, just so you've got a bit of everything everywhere, you know? So spirulina is actually an algae, which is used in most cichlid foods. It's high protein based and it's very good for them. So here I'm just sort of zigzagging, trying to mix it in as well as I can. Okay, now you've done that, you can see it's quite a thick consistency. And now we're going to move on to gelatin. So you've got your gelatin mix. You need 100 grams of gelatin powder, so gather that up and follow the instructions on the box. Mine suggested to melt it first in water and dissolve it. So here's me just dissolving it now. There we go. Okay, so I've got my gelatin in a pot on a low heat, following my instructions. So once this is ready, you want to start adding your mixture to the gelatin. Now, you want to do it bit by bit. However, I made a mistake and added it all at once, which didn't make a huge difference, but just be sure to mix it in well. So as you can see, it's quite watery to start off with, but it should thicken up once it's mixed in later. So you're looking for consistency of about this, and once you're ready, I'd suggest pouring it into a flat tray or any container. So this is my flat tray. I've put tin foil on it, as I said before, make it a little easier. And then you want to pop it into a refrigerator for some hours just to cool down. Once it's cool, it should harden up. The gelatin in it should harden up, and you can see here, just sort of making sure it's not sticking to my finger, it has hardened up, and you should have no residue or anything on your finger. So that's when you know it'll be ready. Then what you want to do is check that it's fully set, so it's all stuck together. So it'll be like this, and I mean, as I said before, the tin foil does help, as you can roll it off easily. Then you want to cut it into chunks, and I'm just putting it into plastic bags here to put in the freezer. So here we go, here it's done. I'm just going to show you feeding my fish, and these guys absolutely love it. I mean, they go crazy once they realize what it is. And as I said before, it does really improve their colour. I mean, since I've started feeding these guys, this has brought out the best colours in them, you know. Far better than they are in this shot. The only downfall to this mixture is it does leave your water with a considerable amount of debris and crap in the water column. I'd suggest doing a water change after. And I would recommend only feeding this food a maximum of once a day, because I mean, although it is good for your cichlids, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. Of course, you know, you don't want to make your water filthy, create disease. So yeah, I mean, I use this for my cichlids, but I'm not going to recommend it to anyone out there. I mean, you can try it, but I'm not saying it's 100% good for your fish, you know. I mean, it works with mine, but you can have different fish, you can have different water parameters. I'm not saying to use this isn't a tutorial, I'm just obviously saying what I use. So basically what I'm saying is to use this at your own discretion. If you have any fatalities, I will not be held responsible for it. Thank you for watching, and as always guys, subscribe, like, and keep watching for more.